Hello, welcome to this session to learn about the constructional details and the types of synchronous generator in this lecture. Construction, before we get into the constructional details, we'll see what are the two major parts in the synchronous generator. One is stator, that is the by the name itself you can say it is the stationary part. Another one is the rotor, the revolving part. There are two major parts, one is stator and another one is the rotor, which is nothing but the rotating part or the revolving part of the synchronous generator. When you look at the main components of the synchronous generator, whether it is a synchronous generator or the DC generator, the two major components are, one is the armature, or you can say in simple words it is the coil. Another one has the magnetic field, the system which produces the field. The field system and the what is that armature are the two important components, whether it is a synchronous generator or a DC generator. So there are two major parts as the stator and the rotor. You have the two components. So any one of the thing you can have as the stator, the other thing being a rotor. So here you can have armature as a rotor and field system as the stator. The armature as a rotor, field system external, like whatever the principle when you are studying, it is shown the coil is placed inside a magnetic field and it is rotated. The extension of that, the coil nothing but in extension of that coil, when more number of coils are placed, when it is wound on a cylindrical one, and when it is called as a armature. So this concept or this construction is used in the DC generator, that is armature as a rotor, field system as a stator, the magnetic field that will be the stationary one. So another possibility is also is there, that is armature as a stator, the field system as rotor. You can have the armature as the stationary one, fixed one, and you can have the field system as the rotating one. In any either way, whether it is a field is rotating or the armature is rotating, there will be a change in the flux. You need to have the change in the flux. So that is possible either by rotating the armature or by rotating the field. So the second one, that is armature and stator, field system as a rotor, is used in the synchronous generator. So this can be called as a synchronous generator or simply the alternator or the AC generator or a three-phase synchronous generator, whatever it is the synchronous generator, or you can say in other words as the AC alternator. So here in the synchronous generator, in in practice we are going to have revolving field type, that is armature as the second case, armature as the stator and the field system as the rotor. So why these revolving field types are preferred? In the DC generator, you saw that armature is the rotating one, magnetic field is the stationary. In the AC generator, you can see the armature is made as stationary and the field is made as rotating one, revolving one. The reasons are, more conductors can be easily accommodated, and with these high voltage and higher power capacity can be achieved. So when the armature is the stationary, there is a possible, when it is the fixed one, there is a possibility of accommodating more number of conductors. Accordingly, when there are more number of conductors, so there is a possibility of how you can have or you can produce high voltage, or you can say in other words higher power capacity. That is possible by having the armature as the stationary. When you say field is the rotating one, the consequence of that is the armature is the stationary one. So having the stationary armature, you can have the more number of conductors, accordingly more voltage or higher capacity is possible. The second one, when it is armature is stationary, it can be easily placed over a rigid frame, so that physical, that strength, it will be more. It is easy to insulate a stationary system. So when you compare with the rotating one, in previous case when the armature is rotating, insulating will become a major task there. But when it is made fixed, insulation is easy. The reasons are continue. Cooling of the conductors. When it is stationary, again how the insulation is easy. Similar way, the cooling of the conductor also will be very effective with the proper cooling ducts or vents in the stationary part. Power can be tapped easily without any risk from the stationary part through thermal bushings. Since it's the stationary, the coil is the one where the EMF will be induced. From there only the power will be tapped out. So tapping the power from the stationary one when compared with the revolving one, it is very easy. Without any risk, you can tap the power from the stationary part through the terminal bushings. The armature conductors are totally free from any centrifugal force since it is a fixed one, it is not the rotating one. So which tends to drag the conductors out of the stator. The stator is the stationary. Remember here it is your armature is nothing but this here it is the stator here. It is the annular portion of the cylinder inside with the inside which the rotor rotates. Stationary one is the annular portion of the cylinder inside which the rotor rotates. You can see when it is introduced about the stator and the rotor. The stator, the rotating this fixed one stator. So inside this field can be fixed. The field can be fixed inside this. So the same only is explained in the stator. So the stator is the stationary member. It is the annular portion inside which the rotor rotates. A sufficient air gap is provided between the stator and the rotor. The armature winding are housed in the slots cut in the stator. The stator is a fixed one, so there slots will be provided where the armature winding, the coil will be fixed. Revolving field type alternators are two types based on the rotors. See, with respect to the stator, that is the armature, no issues. But when you go for the when you consider the field as the rotating one, in the rotator you have the in the rotor you have the non-salient pole as one type, the another one is the salient pole. From the name itself you can say the salient pole, it is nothing but the projected pole, the other one non-salient pole. So here it is not the projected one, it is the smooth cylindrical one. You can see in the diagram. The non-salient pole is also can be called as a cylindrical one. In the projected pole, you see here it is a 4-pole rotor is shown here. So there are 4 poles. The rotors or the poles are projected outside. The poles are projected outside. But here also you can see the rotor is kept inside. It is the rotating one. The poles are not the projected one. You can see the surface, it is the smooth cylindrical one. The rotor is the smooth cylindrical one. So it is not the projected non-salient. So it is called as a non-salient pole rotor. The other one is called as the salient pole rotor. So based on the rotor construction, there are again two types of alternator. That is, one is the salient pole, another one is the non-salient pole. In the salient pole, you see here in this diagram it is shown there are 8 poles. The pole head, and the on the pole here you can see the winding is wound. So it is the projecting poles. These projecting poles lessen its mechanical strength. Since it is the projecting, its mechanical strength will be reduced. So this type of construction is used for low speed. Since it is a mechanical strength due to its construction, that is a projected one, since it is reduced, it is suitable for low speed applications such as hydroelectric generators. So large number of poles in the rotor makes the rotor larger in diameter and smaller in the length. When there are large number of poles, the diameter of the rotor will become more. Next one is non-salient pole. In the non-salient pole, so it is not the projected one. You can see it is the outer surface is the smooth cylindrical one. Inside the slots are given there only the field winding will be there. When it is energized, accordingly the magnet will become, or the field will that pole will become the magnet. Cylindrical, it is the cylindrical type. The DC field winding is embedded in the rotor. It provides greater mechanical strength because of its construction and permits more accurate dynamic balancing. So it is particularly, since it is of a high mechanical strength, it can be used for the high speed turbo generator. So the rotor axis is carried on two bearings which are housed on the two end covers bolted on two sides of the rotor. The stator and the rotor are made up of silicon steel, a high permeability magnetic material. The field winding is supplied with a separated DC supply from the exciter through a pair of carbon brushes. The exciter may be an external DC generator coupled to the shaft of the synchronous machine. We'll see the comparison between the salient and non-salient pole synchronous generator. In the salient pole, the poles are projecting one, and in the non-salient, it is a smooth cylindrical one. Hence, you can call this as a non-projecting also. Air gap is non-uniform here in case of the salient. Air gap is uniform due to the smooth cylindrical periphery in the non-salient. Diameter is high and axial length is small in case of the salient. Small diameter and large axial length is the feature of this non-salient. It is mechanically weak. Salient pole, it is the projected one, it is mechanically weak. So as against this, the non-salient is mechanically robust. The salient pole is, due to its mechanical weakness, it is less strength. It is preferred over low speed alternators. Since of high its mechanical robustness, it is preferred for the high speed alternators, that is the turbo alternators. For the salient, prime mover is used in water turbines, IC engines. Prime mover used are steam turbines and electric motors. For same size, the rating is smaller than the cylindrical type. So here the non-salient, the rating is higher because of its high capacity. Here separate damper winding is provided, but here no separate damper winding is not necessary. So that's all about the salient, the comparison of the salient and non-salient pole. So remaining we'll see in the next session. Thank you.